Good evening, Rajiv.
Hi, Priyanka.
How are you today?
Wonderful. Absolutely fabulous.
So it's time for me to do the formalities and introduce what we love to want to take home in the hearts and heads of everybody who watches our work. We are talking about the Own Your Future show, a space that is being built for you, so you always have somebody to turn to. Conversations, power nuggets, studies, insights, toolkits, learning management system, and a lot more. We'll start with the power nugget, Rajiv. What is it that you'd like to share?
Well, today we have a wonderful guest who's going to join us. I just want to touch upon something very fundamental, very close to what she's going to be talking about. It's about entrepreneurs. And I just want to touch on two, three very important pieces which I've learned about what entrepreneurs are all about. Entrepreneurs are self driven, active learners, and are committed to their why, because that's what really drives them to become who they are. And I've coined a very interesting four value acronym for them, what they are really, the path. All entrepreneurs possess this. They have passion, they have ambition, they trust themselves and everybody around themselves, and they're honest. So we're going to talk about a little bit about the journey, about what entrepreneurship is all about, and how returning career women have actually made it to becoming successful, absolutely fabulous enterprising entrepreneurs. So more about it after this break, where Priyanka is going to play a short little video, and I'll have the honor of inviting our guest for the show. Over to you, Priyanka.
Thank you. And I like the way you say the why. And I think that's an interesting thought that we'll home on to. Let's bring that up in a conversation.
Well, welcome, Tess. Here is our fabulous guest for today. And before I call her a guest, I must tell you what she calls herself. She calls herself the Chief Negativity Assassinator. Now, before I delve into that, I must tell you who she is. Tess is a career strategist, a serial entrepreneur, an award winning, successful is a mild word given what she's really achieved, from being a career woman to becoming an enterprising serial entrepreneur. And she today runs businesses in three continents of the world. She has a business in the UAE, she has a business in Finland, and she has one in Uganda. Welcome, Tess. Thanks for taking out time for us. And we're very happy to have this conversation with you today about what it really takes for returning career women to become successful entrepreneurs. You're a living example of that. Thanks once
Thank
again.
you. Thank you so much for that introduction. Oh, I'm blushing. Thank you so much for the introduction.
Tess, it's an honor. And just as we start our conversation, as I just mentioned, you have an exemplary life behind you, and probably an absolutely amazing world waiting to be conquered ahead of you. In that path of your journey, you've been a 9 to 5 career woman. You run businesses today. Uh, how's been the journey like for you? What's it been like in both these roles that you've played? Tell us more about it.
Everything has been so easy. I'm joking. like, like
Yeah,
everybody
it's
else.
always easy.
It's from the outside, it's always easy, always. And
Oh,
then
it's such a
from
kick.
the back end, with punches. But just like everybody else, there are ups and downs. Life is not straight. I've had my ups, I've had my downs, I've had my, those highs, those lows, and all that. I started my career in Dubai in 2011 when I moved straight from school to Dubai. I was dating somebody, so we moved to Dubai. He got a job in Dubai, so I had no choice but to move there. And then I started, after applying multiple times, I got multiple rejections. So eventually I got hired as an admin manager. I took a chance on myself, and then somebody else was able to take a chance on me. And then after 3 months, I got promoted to HR manager. and I never worked anywhere less than that until 4 years, and then moved to another company. I worked as head of teacher recruitment department for 7 months because it was just recruitment, and I love end-to-end HR. So just one module of the entire, aspect is quite boring. So I moved to another company where I worked it was a global company, so I was the global HR manager for them. I worked for 1 year, the policies changed, and then I moved to another company where I worked 2.5 years as, it was a group of companies, so I was working as the group HR manager. And then I left Dubai, then I moved to Finland, and then, I started serious entrepreneurship. While I was in Dubai, I was actually forced into entrepreneurship. I started I was just doing it casually. I registered the company, the license, and all that. The license was running, but then I enjoyed my 9 to 5. There is that comfort in the 9 to 5. And, before 1 year is gone, before 3 years are gone, and you're like, oh my God, I'm still here. So there was that comfort where I would always say, I want it to be safe. I want to get into entrepreneurship when it's safe. Little do you realize it's never going to be safe. So then I was pushed out of the 9 to 5 job, and I had no choice but to get into entrepreneurship.
Okay, interesting. So I want to ask you, how come Finland? And was that your entrepreneurial journey that took you to Finland, or was it your family and
my family? My kids are Finnish. So
right.
Before I decided to move here, I was contemplating, because my last job in Dubai, I was, can I say fired? Because they pushed me out of my role.
You all get fired. It's okay. It's not a bad thing.
They made it look like I wasn't fired, I was fired, something like that.
Yeah, it's where you get the energy from. It's good. In your case, maybe.
So,
I don't want to repeat the days, but yeah, it's in your case, it's good you got fired.
I tell you, I look back and I'm like, thank God I was. And I was at that time. So I was working, and then they pushed me out. But for like 6 months before that time, I was thinking of moving to Finland because it was time for my kids to go to school. But then I was keeping them in Dubai because saying, well, they are in one of the best schools, so I can continue to leave them here. But I knew they weren't happy because they would wake up at 6, and because of the commuting from school to home, they used to leave home at 6 and get up and rather at 7 and get back home at 5. So like a working day for a child. And in Finland, the child doesn't go to school until they're 7.
Yeah.
And they were not yet 7. But I was thinking, okay, should I delay it and all that? And eventually, I made a decision like, you know what, since I've been pushed out of my role, maybe it's time for me to start to take my kids to school where they should, because they're Finnish. They're entitled to one of the best education in the world. So I said, let me first take a chance on myself. I applied because I was fired on Thursday, and I worked on my CV Friday and Saturday. I sent out applications on Sunday, and on Wednesday I had 3 offers.
Oh.
Now,
Yay.
Yeah, so I was like,
thank God you're doing the job that you do.
yeah. So I was like, should I stay because I have actually better offers, or should I move? And then eventually I made a decision to move. So that's why I ended up in Finland, and here we are today. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first part of entrepreneurship starts with making choices, and here
Absolutely.
you demonstrated that strength and that ability in the dream that you wanted for yourself, even if it was not clear for you, and that's all part of the journey of.
And also for the
what an
children.
entrepreneur-
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's not just her and her journey. It's also what she wanted for her children to shape into. And the encouragement that there is an education system that will help them move forward, but where is the better one that we can find?
Yeah.
I think it's always those factors which sort of play at the back of your mind and what you finally make a choice of. So absolutely fabulous. I just picked up those parts and thought I must share that here. I also know, Tess, that you call yourself a career strategist, right?
Yeah.
It's a very interesting combination of words, and I'm not
Yeah.
saying it from the point of view of a combination of word perspective, but I think so. It's also uh, the world we are living in is about positioning yourself, about doing something that you really mean and the value that you can add to people. So, two things that come to my mind. One is uh, around this piece of being a career strategist. What made you choose this particular area of work for yourself? And second, if this is a niche, if I was to use that word in the parlance of how it's referred to, how important it is in your area of work to really have a niche?
All right. This is how I'm going to answer that amazing question. Um, Career strategists. If you realize that we've had so many people coming up, uh, some are claiming to be coaches, some are really coaches. Like in the past 1 year. Now, going back to the companies, all the companies I worked in, I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate. Every employee, because I have an eye for talent, so I would spot a talent. I'd be like, this person is in the wrong role, so I'll start to coach them. Being the HR manager, so I'll start to coach them to see that they grow, in their role. Now, unfortunately, they ended up leaving the company to get to a better company in a better position. So now this happened quite a lot in the last company I worked, and it is one of the things that led to me being terminated, because it so happened that we had really amazing. They were probably undervalued. I used to see that they were undervalued and they deserve to get better. So I was like, let me coach them to get promoted. And unfortunately, they got better jobs. So I knew, I would help people, strategize in their careers, and that is why I'm like, okay, this is an area I've done quite well. And being that I'm in HR, like I have a certifications. I've done training myself for coaching, for HR, everything I do, I'm certified to do. All right. So, and also my education is also, it has also helped, because I did a bachelor's in counseling psychology. I did a master's in general psychology, and also I did an MBA. All right. So my education, my training, because again, I'm a certified, I train the trainers, like certified train the trainers. So all of this, it all points to, career, right? And for me, I don't do things the way everybody else does what they do. I do it differently. So I'm a strategist, and the people that I work with, all the candidates that I've helped get hired in any country, is when I sit with them and I tell them what they have to do, like, I never thought of it that way. Is that how it is? And they get hired in less than 90 days. And they're like, I've been looking for a job for 2 years, and I didn't think this would work. So for me, what I do is I'm really, really good at strategies. Sorry?
For somebody who managed 3 offers over a weekend, I'm glad you chose this job.
Yeah. So back to your question, the second question, how important it is to to have a niche. Let me answer it this way. If you're sick and you're going to the hospital, right? You have a problem with your ears or your throat. You want to see an ENT, and there is a GP. And I'm not saying the GP is not a good, specialist to see, but you want, do you understand? If you have problems with your lungs, you want to go and see a pulmonologist. So that is the importance, the extra benefit of having a niche. The thing is, we all know that when you're looking for something, there are specific places you look into, when you're looking for something. Let it be a pen, let it be your wallet or a purse and stuff. You're not going to go to the bathroom looking for your purse. You're not going to go to, do you understand? So the same applies to your life. If you are a person that knows a little bit about everything, then you don't know almost anything. People want to associate themselves with people that know something, end to end. If I'm going to help you in your career, I should be able to understand the do's and the don'ts of the careers, what to do in the career. But if I'm like, okay, I know a little bit about it, and then I know a little bit about marketing, I can give you 10%, then you go look for somebody else to give you 10% or 90%, then you wouldn't want to work with me.
Well said. I think that is a wonderful explanation of the way you sort of put it out in terms of the way that the way you go to a doctor with a specialization for a specific part of an ailment that you want. I think that's well explained in terms of how important that is. And I think it's equally important to also recognize that your own commitment to somebody else's success. And I can feel that in what you're saying. I can feel that in the way you want to do things. And I say that because it's very similar to the type of work that one wants to do. I would want to be associated with people who, when I'm invested in, they are equally invested in their own success, in their own growth. I cannot actually participate in a journey of growth or success if the other side is not even conscious or committed to want to make that change happen. So
true.
I think it's a very, very powerful piece to say.
Indeed,
Go ahead, Priyanka.
So let's talk about the geographical spread. I know you work across nations, and of course, digital is helping, but it's not easy. So I have two questions. So one is, how do you manage? And second is there a difference between how you deal with a business which is based out of, say, almost the North Pole to something which is closer to the equator, warmer waters? So does that make a difference?
Yeah. First of all, I don't know what's wrong. Let me take some juice.
Coffee?
Let me take some juice.
Can I offer you some coffee? Can I offer you some coffee? I can get it sent across from here for you.
Don't worry.
From India, with lots of love to you.
So this is the thing. Life itself is hard. And I always tell the people that I coach that if somebody told you life is going to be easy, go back and tell them they're liars. Life itself is hard. It's difficult. However, we all have 24 hours. And whatever we do is a priority. We've considered that a priority. Me having these companies in different locations, it is training, but I'm not doing everything by myself. I have a team. I have teams in UAE. I have employees doing, certain things. There is automation and all that. I have even in Uganda and here in Finland. So there is something for all my businesses. There is an interconnection. I'll explain it this way. For Dubai, it's for supporting services. That is CAT Consult, which is for training, coaching, mentoring, human resource management consultancy. Now, the one in Finland is products, beauty products. That is for your teeth whitening. You can see my teeth. Teeth whitening, for skin care and all that. So anybody that is working with me in CAT Consult, chances are they brush their teeth. Chances are they look after their skin. Chances are maybe they know somebody or are looking or want to lose weight, right? So these are the things, these are day-to-day things, like normal taking care of yourself. And then the one in Uganda, we're manufacturing, and then we're manufacturing cleaning products as well. So anybody that is working with me in CAT Consult cleans their home. So when there is an interconnection that for all my businesses, other than CAT Consult, these other ones, I'm not going to start from scratch. So it's like CAT Consult is boosting the others in a way. For like Nostasi, the one in Finland, the first 3 months, we had over 300 orders without any advertisement. We didn't have any paid adverts. But we had, through the website, over 300 orders. I was just email marketing because we had like already the database there, right? So going back to what you asked, you have to create the time. If you don't create the time, then you're not going to be able to achieve your goals. All right. So the thing is, understand what comes first, what is important and what is not important, because we get covered into lots of things we shouldn't be doing. The work you're supposed to delegate, then you do it yourself just because you feel like the business is new, you don't trust people, or you think they're going to cheat you and all that. If they're going to cheat you, well and good, they're meant to cheat you. Again, you'll move on. If probably you didn't even hire well, it takes two to tango. You cannot clap with one hand. If you think someone is going to cheat you, then look at yourself. Why, first of all, do you think they're going to cheat you? If they have cheated you, again, you have a hand in this. You can't clap with one hand. What did you do wrong, or what did you not do that was supposed to show you the signs of this person not being honest?
Interesting.
I think it's again a very interesting interconnection that you bring about in your businesses, and the way that you sort of talk about three different areas of businesses in three different parts of the world. And I think one thing that stitches them together is a digital landscape that sort of calls it, as in today's terminology, a digital enterprise, a digital entrepreneurship drive that happens. Now, I can clearly see that there is a digital play in every part of your business that you're talking about, right? Whether it is to do with your work that you do out of the UAE, supporting your HR related work, whether it's your products business in the health and wellness space, which you manage out of Finland, or it's the manufacturing that you refer to from activities that you drive out of Uganda. Now, my question, which comes to my mind more out of curiosity, out of this diverse range of things that you do, is what's the role of digital technologies and digital marketing? And I'm using both separately in terms of connecting this for you. And what are the lessons that you've learned in this journey of yours, from moving to UAE, based in Finland, managing these three geographies? I'll again repeat, digital as a technology which binds them together. And the second part is from a pure digital marketing perspective. What's been your lessons out of that?
Quite a lot of lessons. Do we have enough time? Do we have 24 hours?
Okay. We'll keep a separate masterclass for that. That's a good point.
We should.
I think that's a good idea. We should seriously do that.
This is the truth. The way we're doing business, let's say since 2000, like before 2020, it's totally different. And after 2020, things have changed, right? You'll understand that, for example, while I was in Dubai, I used to do coaching, but people wanted to come and meet me one-on-one. Now, today, 100% of my coaching is online. And they're happy, they're getting results. I'm helping people from all over the world get jobs, right? So digital technology itself is very important. First of all, it reduces the amount of time you spend on anything. Where you're going to sit down and talk to people about what you're doing and all that, you're going to use technology to do that for you. It's going to reduce the amount of time you're spending there. Even in operations where you sit here, and I have a team in Dubai, I don't have to call them to do video calls every day. I just go on Trello and the tasks are there. They know exactly what they have to do, when they have to do it. And you just follow up on them. What's the status of this and that and the other? So technology is really, really important. It accelerates your business a certain way. And I believe this is what everybody wants to do. Now, digital marketing, everybody is on the phone today. Everybody. Whether there are 15, whether there are 10, whether there are 8, whether there are 60 or 80 or 100, they are all on the phone. And there is nothing people realize that, like, comfort, convenience is making them pay a lot of money. So whilst they're there on their phones, busy scrolling down because of lockdown, they're busy doing nothing but just scrolling through. There you are. Your business is there in their face today. It is in their face tomorrow. Until they're like, let me just check out this, because you're doing digital marketing. So that is how important it is.
Interesting. So, what do you say to people who kind of come up on your screen when you are like on the phone saying, I will become 10x or 5x or 8x or 2x? What do you say to them? And does that, in your experience, is that fact?
Okay, let me answer your question this way. First of all, I'll tell everybody that is watching or listening that it is possible to make 7 figures without having an office, just online. This I can tell you. There are so many people I know that have made 7 figures just on LinkedIn only. So going back to your question, now these people, some just claim, some are genuine, and some are scam. And I've always said you cannot take people where you've not been. You cannot. If you want to help me make 7 figures, have you been able to do it? How are you going to take me to where you've not been? Or you're going to use me as a trial period or, a case study. I remember somebody came to me and said, hi, Tess. They write those very long messages and they say, I can help you this person told me I can help you make 20,000 a month, $20,000 a month, and blah, 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 blah. So the last statement was, how would you feel when that happened in the next 6 months? I read it as like, oh God, how I wish this person knew. So I told this person, that would be a good idea if you can help somebody make 20,000. However, for me, I will be offended. 20,000 in 6 months? I feel like I'm half dead. So how about we say you're going to help me make 2 million in 6 months? They blocked me. Because at the end of the day, you don't know how much I make. Like 6 months, and you want, like, honestly, 20,000 in 6 months? Even when I sleep, I would make more than that. Like I say, for the next 6 months, I'm going to be just sleeping, doing nothing. So first of all, before you send a message to somebody, that is why for me, I don't go to candidates and tell them, like, I see somebody has a green badge and I'm like, I can help you get a job. No. Maybe they're not looking for the service. Maybe they're just trying their luck. There's so many reasons. Now, the person doesn't go through your profile and then they come to you and say, I can help you make this amount of money. But I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for it. At least try to build a relationship with me. Then understand if I need your service or not. Don't simply just come to my inbox and bombard me with these messages of I can help you make this X amount of money, and you think I'm going to be, triggered by that figure you put. You may put me off. I could know somebody who wants, right? I could know somebody who can sign up for your program. But there is no relationship. For me, it means you only care about yourself. It's not about solving my problem. It's about solving your own problem. So whoever uses this strategy, they have lost even before they start.
I think that's.
And what would you change in it? Like, I get it, and I agree with you. I see a lot of that happening. It is also why people are skeptical. It is why people are not willing to trust. So how do you break that cycle?
Build a relationship with the person that you want to work with. You see, all the business partners you have, there is a relationship you have with them. And the relationship didn't start by saying, I'll charge you this X amount, or I'll help you make this X amount. Put that away. Start by building a relationship. And this is what I tell candidates. Build relationships with potential employers or recruiters. Don't come to me and send me a message that is going to take me like, it's like a 5-minute street asking for a job. And everything you have written is about you. I am the owner of the company, and it should be about my company that you want to get hired, not about you, right? So build that relationship. Let the person understand what you can do for them. What value can you add to Tess? All right. And then they could even get you more people to sign up.
Interesting. I think that's the big difference. That's the big difference in the approach that you take, and I'm glad you put it that way, Rajiv.
Yeah, I would completely agree with you, Priyanka, and I think it's about being able to distinguish the value that you bring to the table to solve somebody's problem versus trying to
Yes.
put yourself out there. And I think there's a huge distinction in the two. And most of the time we are very tempted to sort of take that easy way out. And I'm using the word easy way out because that's something that you know of, and that's your comfort zone, right? You
Yeah.
can sort of talk about that. And for you to be able to really put yourself in the shoes of your prospective employer, your prospective business partner, feel their pain, feel their concern, and relate with it is something which sometimes needs help.
Yeah.
And as we were talking earlier in the green room, when in doubt, just call Tess, and that's where she is.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, interesting. And on that very interesting note of how you should sort of uh, show up as and what you should do, I've been very fascinated with the type of work you do, with the type of stuff you do, all that you do to help people secure better jobs. And actually, I put it differently. I don't even talk about it as better jobs. I think you were probably one of those people uh, who is not only focused on changing your life, but you're more focused on changing lives of others first. And in the process, what happens to you is an outcome of that. And that's the reason
Absolutely.
why I admire you so much. And that's something really
Thank
commendable.
you. Say
Uh,
thank you. See, I'm a Christian, and when I say the Bible says, I'm not telling anybody to go and follow, the Bible, but just like you would refer to something, the Bible says it is more blessed to give than to receive. And one of the things that life has taught me is whenever you put yourself out of your needs out of the picture and focus on the other person, you'll end up having your needs taken care of, even more than you expected. So first of all, I understand the market. Because I've been in HR for over 8 years. I know how HR thinks. So I have been there, and I've been an employee. I have been job searching before. I've received rejection. So I'm in a position where I understand both sides of the table, right? So I know better how to help candidates. Now, I know how candidates think. I know how they feel, and I know how to help them feel better and also get the results. The problem is many people get into wanting to solve other people's problems when they're putting their problems ahead of the other person's problem. You're not going to pay yourself. When I am going to coach a candidate, when going to help a company design HR policies or procedures or whatever, it is about the company, regardless of whether I desperately need the money they're going to pay me or not. It is their problem first. Focus on solving their problem, then yours is going to be solved. But the problem is people look at it's always about them. It's always about them. They want to collect and collect and collect until there is no more to collect.
yeah, yeah, correct. And I think that gets me to what you call yourself, Chief
What they go.
Negativity Assassinator. Am I right? Wow,
Yes.
man, that's an amazing title. Where did this come from? And tell us the story behind it, and what makes you that fabulous. It more or less looks like a Bond character to me, right? Anyways, Bond. There's a new
Yes.
movie that's just got released
Assassinator
yesterday,
of
right?
negativity.
Yeah, so it's like one of those 007 sort of titles that sort of it looks like in that case. So tell us something about that.
Okay, a little bit about it. If I say all of it, then we're going to spend another 24 hours here.
That's for day two. No, Tess, that's for day two of the masterclass. So one day we have something else, this is day two. Right. So go ahead.
So this is the thing. Mainly two things that made me realize the importance of our words. Actually, three things I would add third. The first thing is, first of all, the Bible says that life, I want you to ponder on this statement, regardless where it's coming from. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Not in weapons, not in disease, not in poverty, name it. In the power of the tongue. It means I can kill you by my tongue. I can give you life by my tongue. Right? 2, there is a video I watched on YouTube. Anybody can go and look up this video. I don't remember the title, but there were 2 strawberries. They put these strawberries in a zipper, and one strawberry, they said for 30 days for each of them. One, they said all the bad things about it. And the other one, they said all the good things about it. Every day for 30 days. So one wrote after 30 days, and the other one started to germinate after 30 days. Nothing else they did. If you can go and read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, there is also a lot more about your words and what you tell yourself. So here, because of that, I also went back. If you look at people like Tyler Perry, Elon Musk, Ed Sheeran, Les Brown, all these guys that have impacted humanity, in their stories, Oprah Winfrey, they said they felt like losers because someone said they were, until another person told them you are not. Then their lives took another turn. Again, what we're looking at here is nothing more than just words. Now that brings me, my friends will tell you, you don't joke with me negatively. You don't. You cannot. You cannot. Out of the 171 something 100,000 words, 171,000 words in the dictionary, you can fail to find a positive word to joke about, to tell me, if you don't have it, then keep quiet. I'll respect that. But do not tell me anything negative. Otherwise, when you do, people have said it, but by the time they leave, they have confessed all the good things. Now they no longer remember the bad things that they were talking about. You cannot. How? Like I've always said, even the times I was struggling, I always told myself, unfortunately, I have one choice in life: to be a success. Unfortunately. When someone comes and tells me, "Oh, Tess, you're doing too much," and what if? I say, what if what? What if I succeed more? What if I become richer than I'm supposed to be? No, what if you fall sick? How? Why should I? Why? Of all things you're supposed to see in this life, you see the bad, and then you say it. You see, for me, I choose friends. I choose my friends distinctively. I'm very selective when it comes to friends because, I'm going to spend a lot of time with you. So if I see that you're negative, I distance myself, and eventually you and I will lose touch. Eventually. Because you're not adding anything. And if someone is not adding anything to your life, they're subtracting something. So you have to figure out what it is they're subtracting.
Well said.
Interesting. So what would be your top tips for women? And I choose that word very carefully because frankly, it is about the gender, but then it's not so much about the gender. So but for the sake of conversation and the sake of totality of a conversation, what would be your top tips to women who want to run a business which can then go ahead and span 3 countries and 3 continents? And I'll come back with my last question after that.
First of all, the first thing every woman or anybody that wants to start a business, they should do is to understand themselves. That's the first thing. You first go on a self-awareness journey. If you don't understand yourself, you're going to waste a lot of time. You're going to waste a lot of resources, and eventually come back and say, okay, I think this is the time I have to know who I am for me to be able to understand what I stand for, right? So once you know who you are, you understand what you stand for, what are your values, and all that stuff that comes in self-awareness, then you start on the level of your faith. Many people say, oh, don't start small, then you'll go big. And, I always tell people, even candidates, I say, start from the level of your faith. if your faith says you can start big, why do you have to start small because someone else's level of faith was small? So, and once you figure out my level of faith is here, this is where I'm going to start from. Then you have to start to understand who is around you. Again, my greatest book, which is the Bible, says you are an average of the 5 people you hang around.
Yeah.
If you hang around 5 people, the people you hang around should be either on the same level of drive, of that, that fire in them should be equally, just like yours or better. But if it's less, it's going to drain you. While you're trying to build, they're going to break. And then while you're holding this side, then you have to hold this side. So once you understand the people, then you stop walking with those that are not going to your direction. It doesn't matter whether they are the ones that are available, for as long as they're not going to your direction, don't walk with them. They will slow you down because they're not even sure if that is the direction they want to go to. While you are running 100 kilometers per hour, somebody is going to drag you down because they want to run 10 kilometers per hour. So the people around you, and then most importantly, deliver what you say you're going to deliver. It doesn't matter for you to know yourself and do all this stuff, and then you deliver the opposite of what you said you're going to deliver, right? Results will help in boosting your business at a level you won't understand. When this year started, I think I had around 20 people that I helped to get jobs, and by March, the first quarter, I had over 200. I was like, what is this? And they're all referrals, because one gets the results, they bring another, then they bring another, and you end up having one client bringing 5 of their friends, So when you deliver the results, your business will grow. You may not even need to do the advertising as much as you would when, then be ready to unlearn. There is a lot of things we've learned that are not important. a lot of crap we've learned growing up. Be ready to unlearn all that. Be ready to relearn, because things are changing. You have to be flexible, be ready to pick up new skills, new talent, and things that are that are currently needed. You like it said, you can't do the same thing and expect different results. There is a quote that I read that you can't use yesterday's methods to today's business and expect to stay expect to stay in business tomorrow, something like that. So once all is done, then after relearning and all that, invest in yourself. People don't want to invest. It could be money, it could be resources, it could be anything, but invest in yourself. The best view of every situation is when you are out of it. That is why you need a mentor, you need a coach. I have around 5 coaches, and every coach is helping me in a different aspect of my life, while I also coach others. So if you don't invest in yourself, you're wasting time. You'll be left behind. There are so many companies we know that have been left behind because they refuse to move on, right? So learn, and women are, okay, for at least many I've coached, you realize that they think having a fancy office is the business. Don't be deceived into infrastructure. If someone comes and tells you, when you open up a good office, your business is going to grow, run for your life and run for your neighbor's life as well. Because that person is very bad. You don't need to be around them.
Yeah.
So once you put all this together, how can you fail? If you fail, you come to me.
So what's the one thing that I can bring out of the bag, which Tess will tell you after we come to you, and after a job seeker comes to you? So what is your one top tip for a job seeker?
One, there are so many. Networking. I always tell candidates that if you look for a job for 2 months and you fail to look for it, you find it rather, you fail to get hired in 2 months, question your relationships. Networking is very important. Be strategic in building relationships. Don't send for example, LinkedIn, don't send a connection request and then immediately you share your CV. Oh, I'm looking for a job. Please help me. I'm desperate. You know, that those people who say, I come from a poor family and I'm the breadwinner. And I'm thinking, what happened? What happened? Listen, nobody is going to hire you because you're unemployed. Nobody is going to hire you because you got fired. Nobody is going to hire you because you sleep hungry. All that is not important to their business, but somebody is going to hire you because you're going to push their business to the next level. You're going to solve a problem in their business. And because probably you're unemployed, they'll have that, empathy. But the first thing is what value you're going to add. If it was just about hiring anybody, there are so many unemployed people. Why do you think they're all still there looking for jobs? Instead of focusing on all those, pity-party points, I always tell candidates, the only thing you're collecting are pity points. If you keep saying, "Oh, I come from a poor family. I got fired and I didn't have a job. I've been jobless for 8 months. Oh, please help me. No one is responding to me. Recruiters are ghosting me." Everybody will say, "Oh, it's so bad," and they'll give their opinion, and they are empathetic, right? They'll sympathize with you, but the only thing you're going to get are pity points. Unfortunately, today we don't have a company yet where you can go and redeem those pity points. So they're going to be really heavy for you until I don't know when. So focus on what value you're going to add to the organization. What makes you unique?
Very interesting, Tess. I am so glad that you say that with so much passion, because only somebody who has walked that path can offer the advice, but somebody who believes in their work can say with so much passion. So thank you
Thank
for
you.
the work that you do, and I'm sure a lot of people are thankful to you.
Yeah, I, I,
Rajiv,
I think
over
I
to
think
you.
I just want to sort of add up to what you just said. I take two, three very important pieces just to sort of summarize some parts of this. Your
Yeah.
last bit, I coined a word. Actually, I have this great innate ability to sort of think of some interesting words. So I call it the V to V. And you know where that comes from?
No, I don't.
Victim to victor.
Yeah,
So
Victor
from
to
a
Victor.
victim
Yeah.
to a victor. And I think that's the key essence for any success to happen. Stop being the victim, go be the victor.
Yeah.
And if you change that mindset, I think the world is waiting for you to open doors. If you walk in as a victim, you'll be treated as a victim. You'll be treated like a, because if you choose to be the doormat, you'll be
They'll,
a
they'll,
door,
they'll use you for that. We
you'll
treat
be
we teach people how to treat us.
absolutely. So I think that's
So,
that's such a powerful thing that you said. And the second thing is that what I'm taking away from this is that with Tess, Priyanka, we must make a note of this. We're going to have 2 full-day master classes because she herself said that she's evaded a few of our questions because she was not given enough time today, right? So we will take that as a very important point to us that
Very
anytime.
important takeaway.
that
Tess, it's
Tess
such
has
a
said
pleasure for
that
being
we have
you.
not been kind to her. We've not given her 24 hours to answer questions. So we will come back to
We
that.
owe her 48 hours
We got
and we
48
hate
hours.
debt.
So first of all, our apologies if we didn't give you 48 hours,
Oh
but I
my
promise
God.
you, but I promise you, we will come back. Thanks a lot,
Sure.
Tess.
The door
You've
is
been an
open
amazing
anytime.
you've been an amazing person that you are.
Thank you.
Warm-hearted,
Honored.
honest, truthful, candid, and as Priyanka said, somebody who believes in what you want to do by giving to people their success in their hands. So
Yes.
God bless you. May you be blessed with
God
so much
bless you too.
success and all that you want. Thanks for being here
Amen.
with us
Pleasure.
today,
Thank you for
and
inviting me.
it's been wonderful. And I'm sure this is the start point of a journey where we'll keep learning from each other. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you so
Thanks.
much. I've learned a lot from you and hope to see you again soon.
Sure, sure.
See you
We'll connect
again
back in the
soon.
green room if you have time. We can do that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll end the broadcast. Thank you so much for listening in, and thank